One of the many things that I've learned from you by sitting next to you for the dozen years that I have is the terminology that you want to be a high character guy going into the draft, not a character guy. Because if you're a high character guy, that means you're good off the field. If you're a character guy, that means you're bad off the field. What do you make of the guys who are character guys who are not invited to the combine? This has been such a big conversation that folks like Joe Mixon and Chad Kelly, who have different, obviously, off the field red X's next to them. What do you make of the policy that's been clearly put into place for the combine now, Mike?
Well, I mean, let's start with a fact. Joe Mixon is going to be in the NFL next year. Okay, he's got first-round talent. So no matter where he ends up getting drafted, and he'll get drafted somewhere, he's going to be in the NFL. So from my perspective, I look at it and say, why would you not invite these character kids? I think you ought to open your arms and embrace them, bring them to the combine, because that's why the combine was set up 30 years ago, kind of as a clearinghouse of information for every NFL team. You're going to have to vet these kids anyway. You might as well vet them at the combine. And while you're at it, I think you're missing an opportunity to say, hey, let's get these kids together, whoever passed that threshold of a significant off-the-field issue, and let's try to educate them. Why don't we proactively attack the problem rather than not invite them to the combine? Let's proactively get after this situation, lay out some expectations, try to help these kids become good people, not just good football players. And I think the side corollary that's really interesting, Rich, to me, with Mixon especially, is the unintended consequence of him not being invited to the combine is it's going to work to his advantage. He's sleeping in his own bed. He's not being poked and prodded 3 days in a row from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. before he has to run his 40. He's going to have an outstanding workout, and by the way, every team in the league is going to be there to watch it. So I think the NFL is well-intentioned, trying to do the right thing here, but I think you got to think it through a little bit more.
But what about the idea that the combine that you described is no longer? The combine isn't just the one spot as a clearinghouse for all the scouts and coaches to get their best look at a kid. You even just said yourself that everyone's going to be at Oklahoma's Pro Day, that the combine now is an event, that it's a privilege to work out in. It is now a spotlight event on the NFL calendar that kids like Mixon, for what he did, should not have the privilege of having that platform. Mike.
The work has to get done anyway. They're all going to get vetted. And what I would tell you is that Mixon has such significant talent. The fact that he's not there is going to help him because he's going to run better and he's going to look better. Now, your argument for some of the other guys not invited, the Zamora White kid from Baylor, Stringfellow, the wide receiver from Ole Miss, they're going to lose a significant opportunity to try and impress with all 32 teams there. But because Joe Mixon is so gifted, it's not going to matter. Every team's going to – and when I say every team, the caveat there is he's already off some boards. Some owners are going to not let their teams draft him. So to whatever level teams are going to come in and vet him, they're all going to be there next week. I mean, the kid's got an advantage, and it's unintended.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.